reaction is so funny. The most unhinged thing a patient has said to you. Made me hold her hand while she prayed out loud for God to send her a nurse that knew what they were doing. I have a lazy eye and a patient said, straighten that thing out when you're talking to me. Was cussed out for a solid 3 minutes straight by a deaf lady via interpreter. A patient always paraded that she went to Harvard and how she was better than everyone. One day she was screaming for help and the patient next door called, call Harvard. Had an older patient tell me the PureWick I placed on her made her miss her husband that died during COVID. Oh my God. 85-year-old. I'm pregnant. Me. No way. Who's the father? Her. Your husband. I'm bored. Coded 15 minutes later. My confused patient asked me to pray with him, took my hands, and proceeded to rap the whole song Gangster's Paradise. I have red hair and baby hairs. My hair was in a ponytail. Dementia grandma said, get away from me, you warthog. I'm still impressed. Patient coded, shocked, came back, sat straight up and said, sorry, I dozed off for a second. This would be me, just like, oh, sorry, guys. My patient was so grateful I was there because the nurse she had last night was the most horrible woman, and I totally agreed and validated that experience. I was the nurse from last night. Had split hair dye while trying to reorient a dementia patient. She said, why would I listen to you? You forgot to dye the other half of your head. I'm not wearing this oxygen. I don't want to get addicted. Lives rent-free in my head to this day. Asked me who the ugly man on my badge was. The ugly man was me with my hair pulled back. You're always here. Don't you got a man or something? I asked a schizophrenic patient how much he weighed. He said, I don't know. Not as much as you, though. Merry Christmas. I just shit myself. Got fired by a patient because my vibe was throwing off her photosynthesis. What? As a hospice nurse, I told one of my patients I couldn't keep plants alive, and she said it didn't seem like I kept people alive too well either. I accidentally let out a burp and then said, oh my God, I am so sorry. Excuse me. My patient looks at me and farts and responds, got you back. I laughed and my elderly patient said, nice teeth. If you were a horse, I'd buy you. There's no good response to that. Good morning, sunshine. Then she saw the bags under my eyes and my resting bitch face, gasped and went, ooh, not sunshiny. Good morning, partly cloudy. Nickname stuck until I switched jobs. Male patient, do you want to lay down with me? It's warm. I peed a little. I had a patient turned on his side. He ripped a massive fart right in my face, turned and looked me in the eye and said, blew you a kiss. Handed me his phone and said, call someone who cares. One of my patients told me I reminded him of a celebrity. I was like, oh. He proceeded to say, yep, Wiz Khalifa. I am a 5'1" white girl. I'm passing meds to my patient when his phone rings. The ringtone is Michael Scott going, oh God, please, no, no, no. When it stopped ringing, the patient said, sorry, that was my ex-wife. Had an aggressive guy call my entire staff humpback whale linebacker bitches. We still laugh about that one. I'm a psych nurse and my patient accurately guessed what meds I was on down to the dose. Do not underestimate a schizophrenic brain. I was missing a tooth and waiting to get a dental implant. While talking with a patient, I smiled a little too big. My patient paused, looked at me for a sec, pointed, and said, it's giving hillbilly. I said, see you tomorrow to my favorite patient. She looks at me and says, no, you won't. I've got a date with my husband, and pointed to the sky. She passed away that night. She was for discharge the next day. I was asking a patient about a blood transfusion, and they said, only if it's white blood. I said, sorry, we only have red. A patient told me he hadn't drank water in over 20 years, and when I asked him why, he said, isn't it obvious? That's where fish fornicate. Stuck in your gut, you look fat. I was 8 months pregnant. I had a patient tell me he wanted to make me a peanut butter and antifreeze sandwich. Lady told me she would give her right leg to be as skinny as me. Plot twist, she was a double amputee. I had broken 3 of my acrylic nails and a patient looked down at my hand and said, what, you couldn't afford the whole hand? Asked me to cut off her dead husband's finger so she could use it to log into his computer and get access to his offshore bank accounts. Sat with a dementia lady one night and she told me I was going to hell. And I said, no, I'm not. Jesus saved me. And she looks me dead in the face and goes, well, he made a mistake. Patient just had his leg amputated. Asked for an eye patch. Said I knew I was born to be a pirate. I wear hijab and I worked at an assisted living. One day I decided to wear all black. One of the dementia residents thought it was her time to go as she assumed I was the angel of death. Performed the Heimlich, barely saved the man, literally turning blue, said, I could have cleared it on my own. You guys are dramatic. 99-year-old coded. I performed successful CPR and said, welcome back. Her response was, oh, for fuck's sake, how dare you? I was ready to meet Jesus. He ruined my life. Told my patient I was a part-time magician and he said, oh yeah, try disappearing. A man watching his wife deliver their baby made direct eye contact across the room and said, it's like watching my favorite restaurant burn to the ground. Nurses really are the true MVPs.